Welcome to AI in 8 minutes or less, your daily AI update. So let's start with a big question. What if finding the next cure for a devastating disease wasn't just for a few elite labs? What if it was more like a global treasure hunt, an open challenge where anyone, anywhere, could search for molecules that might save millions of lives? That's the powerful idea we're going to dig into today. But, to really get why that idea is so revolutionary, we have to talk about the problem it's trying to solve. Because right now, when it comes to making new medicines, the system is, well, it's fundamentally broken. And here's the bottom line. Finding new drugs is just a brutal process. I mean, it is one of the hardest, most expensive, and slowest things we do in science. And that means potential cures can sit on a shelf for decades, or even worse, never get found at all. And this slide really breaks down why it's so busted. You've got these insane costs and timelines that can last over a decade, and it all happens in these small, closed-off labs. That creates obvious bottlenecks, right? But it also creates a sneakier problem: expert groupthink. When everyone's trained to see a problem the exact same way, you end up missing those truly game-changing ideas that almost always come from a fresh perspective. So how do you break out of that box? Well, you don't just build a slightly better box. No, you tear down the walls completely, and you build a decentralized engine. And that engine has a name: Metanova. So it's built on the BitTorrent network, which is basically a way for thousands of AI models all over the world to work together and compete on one giant problem. And Metanova's whole mission is to point all that global brainpower at drug discovery, turning it into a massive worldwide competition that's open to everyone. I love this quote because it just nails the concept. The thousands of people contributing to the network, they're often called miners in this world, they aren't just running code. No, they are pharma molecule hunters, sifting through these massive digital libraries looking for hidden treasure. Now, this right here, this is the light bulb moment. Metanova completely reframed the challenge. They realized that with the power of AI, this is no longer a pure chemistry problem. It's an optimized search problem. And that one simple shift changes everything. It means you don't need a PhD to compete. You just need to be really, really good at searching. And just like that, the doors are blown wide open to a world of untapped talent. Okay, so a global competition of molecule hunters sounds amazing, right? But how does a discovery on a computer screen actually become a real pill you can take? Let's walk through the process. It all works like a super efficient funnel. First, thousands of miners search libraries with billions of molecules to find promising hits. Then, the best of those get sent to network validators, who score them and check the work. After that, Metanova's own experts apply another layer of real-world filters, checking for things like toxicity. Step 4, the absolute best of the best gets sent to a real-world wet lab for validation. And finally, if the science checks out, boom, they file a patent. And the financial stakes here are just staggering. A single one of these promising molecules, even at this super early preclinical stage, could be worth anywhere from $30 to over $150 million. That's a huge amount of value being created by this decentralized network. So once Metanova has that patent, that intellectual property, what do? Well, just like a screenwriter can sell the option for their script to a big Hollywood studio, Metanova can license its IP out to a major pharmaceutical company. It's a brilliant model, really. Okay, but does this power of the crowd thing actually work? Well, we got a pretty dramatic answer to that question, and it proved just how valuable fresh eyes can be. So get this. In one of Metanova's competitions, somebody submitted an optimization strategy that had absolutely nothing to do with biology. It was an algorithm used to manage supply in the energy sector, and it was going head-to-head with a really respected, published scientific method. The gold standard you'd find in academic papers. And the result? Well, it perfectly illustrates the power of this entire idea. The algorithm from the energy sector didn't just compete, it won. It flat out beat the established academic technique. And it did it on a notoriously hard-to-drug cancer target. Just incredible. I mean, this is the ultimate proof. This is what it's all about. It shows that innovation doesn't always come from the usual suspects. Sometimes the biggest breakthroughs come from outsiders who aren't bogged down by the way things have always been done. So what's the end game here? This isn't just about finding 1 or 2 new drugs. The ultimate goal is way, way more ambitious. It's really about building the future of how science itself gets done.
The grand vision is to build an AI co-scientist, and this system would combine three different kinds of intelligence. You'd have the creativity of humans, both the experts and the outsiders. You'd have the raw, competitive power of the machine learning models on the network. And finally, you'd have AI agents automating and analyzing the whole process.
So after all that, the tech, the competition, the algorithms, what is this really all for? At the end of the day, it's not about network tokens or fancy code. The ultimate goal, the core KPI, is human life. It's about building real, verifiable value by finding treatments that can fundamentally change what's possible in medicine. If you enjoyed this, subscribe to AI in 8 minutes and never miss what matters.